Have you ever wondered what happens when a house doesn't receive any mail, even though someone lives there? It's a peculiar situation that raises many questions and sparks curiosity. In today's video, we're diving into the unusual circumstances surrounding a specific house that seemed to be caught in a postal black hole. Despite having a resident, this home has become a mystery, leaving neighbors and even the postal service scratching their heads. Imagine living in a place where your letters, packages, and important documents just don't arrive. It's not just an inconvenience. It can lead to missed bills, lost communications, and a sense of isolation. As we explore this intriguing scenario, we'll uncover the various factors that could contribute to such a bizarre situation. Is it a postal error, a quirk of the local community, or perhaps something more complex? Understanding the dynamics of postal regulations and community interactions is crucial in unraveling this mystery. Postal services have specific guidelines that dictate how mail is delivered, and sometimes these rules can lead to unexpected outcomes. Additionally, community dynamics play a significant role in how mail is distributed and received. Join us as we delve deeper into this captivating topic, examining the implications of a house that doesn't receive mail and what it means for the resident. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of the intricate web of factors that can lead to such an unusual situation, and perhaps you'll think twice about the importance of reliable mail delivery in our lives. Nestled at the end of a street, shrouded in the filtered light of towering oak trees, the house in question stands out with its charming yet enigmatic presence. This two-story, Victorian-style home wears time like an old cloak, faded but noble, with a weathered facade that still manages to retain an air of quiet dignity. Intricate woodwork curls like ivy along its gables, and a wraparound porch complete with a creaking swing invites passers-by to sit and stay a while. But beneath the surface of its warm, storybook appearance lies a secret that no one can quite explain. The house does not receive any mail, no letters, no flyers, no bills, no postcards from distant family vacations. The mailbox, a quaint black fixture shaped like a birdhouse, remains stubbornly empty. Even the flag on its side, once bright red, has dulled to a rust-colored shrug, an emblem of unanswered questions. Surrounding the property are lush, overgrown gardens that hint at a once vibrant landscape. Roses bloom defiantly between tangled weeds, and vines creep up trellises that haven't been touched in years. The air around the house often carries the scent of lavender and damp earth, mingling with something harder to define, something that doesn't quite belong. It's as if the house is holding its breath, waiting for something. Located in a quaint neighborhood known for its rich history, the area was established in the early 1900s. The streets are lined with mature trees, their canopies interlacing like hands above the road, casting cool shadows across cobblestone sidewalks. Children ride bicycles in the summer twilight, and friendly neighbors often gather for barbecues, book clubs, and evening walks. Most of the homes tell stories of generations raised under their roofs, of holiday traditions and changing seasons. But the house at the street end tells a different kind of story. Its tale is one of absence, a quiet vanishing. The house belongs to Sarah Elwood, a retired school teacher in her late 60s. With her short, silver curls and warm, expressive eyes, Sarah is the type of person who seems born to nurture. She has a passion for gardening and a habit of baking far too many cookies, which she shares generously with the neighborhood children and their parents alike. In many ways, she is the heart of the community, but even the kindest hearts can carry heavy burdens. Sarah has lived in the house for over a decade. She moved in after retiring, drawn to the peacefulness of the neighborhood and the charm of the house. At first, everything seemed perfect. The house felt like a sanctuary, but soon after settling in, Sarah noticed something peculiar. Her mailbox remained empty. At first, she thought it was a mistake. Perhaps the post office was still updating records, or maybe her name hadn't been added to the delivery route yet. But weeks passed, then months. Her neighbors received packages and flyers, letters from old friends, catalogs she used to enjoy browsing through with a cup of tea. Meanwhile, Sarah's mailbox stood untouched. She contacted the post office repeatedly. Each time she was told the matter would be looked into. Postal workers promised they'd follow up, and for a day or two, she'd hold on to hope. But nothing ever changed. One postal worker even confessed quietly that he had never seen the house listed in their database. It was as if her home didn't exist. The problem grew worse over time. Important documents vanished into the void. Insurance notices, tax information, even her medication refills. Sarah had to reroute everything to her daughter's address in the next town, a workaround that brought its own complications. Emotionally, the experience was more isolating than she could have anticipated. She remembers a particular day in late spring. Her best friend from college had sent an invitation to a surprise birthday party, complete with a handwritten note and a recipe card for Sarah's favorite lemon tart. The invitation never arrived. On the day of the party, Sarah stayed home, thinking her friend had forgotten her. It wasn't until weeks later, after an awkward phone call, that she learned the truth. She had baked a cake that morning, something rich and chocolatey, a spontaneous gesture of celebration. She lit a single candle, sat by herself on the porch, and waited, her heart unknowingly aching from a miscommunication that had never been hers to bear. Another time, a package containing a treasured family heirloom, a porcelain music box from her late mother, was returned to sender after being flagged as undeliverable. That word, stamped in harsh red letters across the return label, haunted her. Undeliverable. As if she herself was unreachable, disconnected from the world she so lovingly tried to remain a part of. The neighbors noticed, of course. People notice things like that. An empty mailbox, a lingering frown, a woman who begins to check in at the post office more often than she checks out books from the library. But Sarah remained graceful in her frustration, always smiling, always hopeful. Her neighbors loved her dearly and wanted to help. Some began forwarding mail accidentally delivered to their homes. Others accompanied her on her increasingly tense visits to the post office, adding their voices to the growing chorus of concern. One particularly empathetic neighbor, Jonathan, an IT specialist who worked from home, began researching the issue in earnest. He discovered that Sarah's address didn't appear on several mapping and postal databases. When he ran the address through a national delivery confirmation system, the result was chilling. Address not found. Delivery not available. Even Google Maps had the property labeled as unconfirmed. And the satellite view? It showed trees, shadows, the curve of the cul-de-sac, but no house. Just a blank space where Sarah's home should have been. "How can a place exist and not exist at the same time?" he asked her once, half joking, half serious. Sarah had no answer, but she often wondered the same thing. Local legend had long whispered about the house. Before Sarah moved in, it had sat vacant for years, its history obscure. The previous owner, an elderly man named Elias Merrick, was said to have lived there alone for decades before disappearing without a trace. No obituary, no forwarding address, no estate sale. Some kids in the neighborhood swore the house was haunted. They spoke of lights flickering behind curtained windows when no one lived inside, of strange music echoing from the attic late at night. One boy even claimed to have seen someone standing motionless in the upstairs window long before Sarah arrived. "I think the house doesn't want to be found," a teenager named Leah once whispered to her friends during a sleepover. "Like, it's hiding." Sarah had heard the stories. She laughed them off politely. But sometimes late at night, when the wind stirred the trees and the floorboards creaked under no visible weight, She wasn't so sure. There were other strange things, too. Details she had tried to overlook at first. The way her porch light would flicker between warm yellow and a faint blue glow. The way her garden, no matter how neglected, never seemed to wilt. The fact that birds never landed on her roof. And then there were the notes, mysterious, handwritten messages that occasionally appeared tucked under her door or inside the fence gate. They were always unsigned. Sometimes they contained single words, still waiting, forgotten. Why won't they see us? Other times, they were fragments of what seemed like lost letters or poems. You can leave, but the house remembers. The walls keep names. The windows blink. She showed them to the police once, but they dismissed it as a prank. A bored teenager, perhaps. But Sarah wasn't so sure. The handwriting was delicate, elegant, too refined to belong to a restless kid. One note in particular sent a chill down her spine. It's not just your mail they've forgotten. It's your address, your name. Piece by piece, it's slipping away. Eventually, the neighborhood rallied. They hosted a town hall meeting and invited representatives from the local post office. During the meeting, neighbors took turns speaking. Some brought printouts of the database errors. Others shared their experiences collecting misdelivered mail. Sarah sat quietly in the front row, her hands folded in her lap, eyes wide with a mix of hope and dread. The postal representatives promised to investigate. They offered assurances. They brought paperwork. They shook hands and took notes. But when the meeting ended, Sarah felt the same unease settle into her chest, a lingering doubt that nothing would truly change. And she was right. The next day, her mailbox was still empty. As the weeks went on, Sarah began to notice something new. Her reflection, subtle differences. In the hallway mirror, her face seemed blurrier, like looking through glass smeared with fog. Her voice echoed more in certain rooms. Her home phone began receiving static-filled calls. No voice, just faint breathing. One evening, she opened her front door to find a letter sitting on the doormat. Not in the mailbox, not stamped. It was addressed in looping handwriting she didn't recognize. To the woman the world forgot. Inside was a message. You are not alone. We are all here. Just behind the walls. Just beneath the floor. Remember us, and maybe someone will remember you. That night, Sarah didn't sleep. Whatever the truth may be, one thing remained constant. The house at the end of the cul-de-sac still wasn't receiving mail. But then something shifted, quietly, almost imperceptibly. It began with a curious phone call from a supervisor at the regional post office. After months of persistence from Sarah, Jonathan, and several neighbors, the case had finally been escalated to a higher tier. A field inspection was scheduled. 2 postal investigators showed up one cool morning in early spring, clipboards in hand and puzzled expressions on their faces. They walked the property, checked the mailbox, took photos, verified Sarah's documents and utility bills. And then one of them blinked slowly, staring at the number stenciled above the door. "Wait," he muttered. "This isn't even in our official route map. This address, it's listed as vacant land." It turned out that a clerical error had occurred nearly a decade ago when the property was transferred from the previous owner. Somewhere in a government database, buried under digital paperwork, the house had been mistakenly removed from the active postal grid. To the system, the house simply didn't exist. No one flagged it, the investigator admitted, because no one ever checked. It's rare, but it happens. Sometimes properties fall through the cracks. A data entry glitch, a missing line in a database, years of being forgotten by a system built on automation. That was all it took. The fix wasn't immediate. It involved paperwork, appeals, verifications, and plenty of red tape. But within 3 months, the address was restored. The house reappeared on the postal map. Mail began to arrive, slowly at first. A local newsletter, a dental appointment reminder, then a birthday card from her niece with a drawing of a bluebird. The first package Sarah received was from her daughter. Inside was the porcelain music box that had once been returned, clean, unbroken, still playing the soft tune her mother used to hum. Sarah stood in her kitchen, the music gently filling the air, and cried quietly for a long time. The neighbors celebrated with her. Jonathan brought over cupcakes. Leah, the teenager who once called the house haunted, made a TikTok video about how their community fixed the glitch. It went viral for a week, earning Sarah the affectionate nickname, the lady who got her mail back. But the strangest thing? After the delivery resumed, the mysterious notes stopped. The static phone calls ceased. The flickering porch light held steady, golden and warm. The odd little quirks, the unexplained drafts, the feeling of being watched began to fade. Sometimes Sarah wondered if it was all in her head. The isolation, the loneliness, the fear of disappearing in retirement, of becoming invisible. But other times she wondered if the house itself had simply needed to be acknowledged, its presence officially recognized once more by the outside world. Whether by human error or something less explainable, Sarah's house had, for a while, become a forgotten place. Now she hangs a small wooden sign over the mailbox. It reads, "Yes, we live here." And every day she opens the mailbox, smiles at its contents, and feels just a little more grounded, a little more seen. Because in the end, that's all any of us really want, to be remembered, to be known, to be found. We explored the unique and perplexing situation of a house that doesn't receive mail, despite having a resident, Sarah, who has lived there for over a decade. We delved into the physical characteristics of her charming Victorian home, the emotional toll of missing important letters and packages, and the community's response to her plight. Sarah's story highlights not only the challenges she faces, but also the importance of understanding postal regulations and the dynamics that can lead to such delivery issues. Throughout our discussion, we emphasize the vital role that community support plays in addressing these challenges. Neighbors have rallied around Sarah, offering assistance and advocating for her with local postal authorities. Their collective efforts demonstrate how a united community can make a significant difference in resolving issues that affect its members. As we wrap up, we encourage you, our viewers, to reflect on the importance of reliable mail delivery in your own lives and the impact it has on your connections with others. If you found this video insightful, please consider subscribing to our channel for more engaging content. Don't forget to like and share this video with friends and family who might also be interested in learning about the complexities of postal delivery and the power of community support. Your engagement helps us continue to create valuable content that informs and inspires. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.